Welcome back to Zenith Health. Today is October 24th, 2024. Yes, this is your second video in the same day. In the last video, we talked about natural ways that you could boost your energy, and we talked about superfoods. If you missed that, go back and watch it because you will find out why I'm putting quotes up around superfoods. But we talked about all the vitamins that are in superfoods. So now I wanted to talk about how do you know what vitamins you need? How do you know if you have enough fiber in your diet? How do you know if you have enough vitamin D in your diet? How do you know if you have enough calcium? Like, what are the telltale signs that this is what I'm missing without going and getting a bunch of blood work done? Because of course that is an option, but I'm going to tell you some things that you may be seeing in your day-to-day, like feeling tired or hair loss or things like that, maybe pointers. Okay, I should try getting more of this specific vitamin in my diet because it's not going to be a bad thing no matter what, and see if that helps. So for example, let's start with fiber. It's an essential part of your diet, right? We know that. But why? What does it actually do? What does it help with? It helps regulate your digestion. It helps keep your blood sugar stable. And it's good for you. Right? But most people aren't getting enough fiber in their diet. So we're going to talk about the symptoms of a fiber deficiency and how can you get more in your diet. Next, we're going to talk about vitamin D. It's an extremely important vitamin in your body. It's used for several systems. It's essential to help you absorb calcium. Vitamin D and calcium work together. And a vitamin D deficiency is very, very common. It's estimated that about 1 billion people worldwide have low levels of vitamin D in their body. So a lot of us, right? So what can you do? Same thing, right? What are the signs? And how can you get more vitamin D? And then since we're talking about vitamin D, and since I just said vitamin D and calcium work together, then obviously we have to talk about calcium too. So did you know that you have more calcium in your body than any other mineral? Right? You probably know that it's good for your bones and your teeth. You've probably heard that before. Drink your milk, drink your calcium, right? But are you getting enough in your diet? And more importantly, if you're not getting enough calcium, what do you need to add to your diet to get it in there? Okay, this is absolutely critical, and it goes along with our last video. So again, if you missed that, posted on Zenith Health, same day, October 24th, 2024. We're talking about how you can start making changes now so that you see a big difference in the new year. So let's dive into this. So let's start with fiber. Fiber is a critically important nutrient in your daily diet. If you're not getting enough fiber, here are some of the signs and symptoms that you may notice. Number one, you may be constipated. You may be bloated. You may have irregularity in your GI tract, right? You may be irregular. Fiber helps add bulk to your stool, which helps it pass through your colon. So if you're not getting enough in your body, you may have a hard time digesting food properly and getting it all out. So a quick warning here though, right? So don't go and just like eat fiber all day long, because if you're eating too much fiber, that can cause bloating and gas as well. So if you're thinking you're not getting enough fiber, I don't want you again to just like go and start eating fiber all day long every day and be like, she said I need more fiber. You need to slowly add it into your diet so that it doesn't cause digestion problems. Okay. All right, so second symptom of a fiber deficiency, you may feel hungry right after you've eaten. Fiber isn't broken down and used by our bodies, so it takes longer to go through our system. So fiber helps you feel full, it helps you feel satiated. So if you're not getting enough fiber in your diet, you may notice that you're reaching for snacks more often. You may feel like you ate a big meal and then you're like, wow, how on earth am I still hungry right now? Well, if you're not working out a ton or haven't been doing something to get your metabolism going, not breastfeeding, something like that, then you may want to look and see, am I getting enough fiber in my diet? Number three, symptom or sign that you're not getting enough fiber is you have high cholesterol or high blood pressure. Fiber can help lower your triglycerides and increase your HDL, which is your good cholesterol. It can help lower your blood pressure, and that has been connected to a fiber-rich food like whole grains, fruits, veggies. So eating more fiber is great for your heart health, okay? Number 4 sign that you're not getting enough fiber. You tend to get a sugar boost and then you crash. When you eat foods that contain fiber and carbohydrates, then it takes longer for your body to break it down compared to simple carbs that don't have any fiber, right? So simple carbs reach your bloodstream faster, meaning that the sugar content is really high. So if you eat fiber with the sugar or eat something that has a lot of fiber in it, then you're not going to get that really high sugar and then that crash as much, because it's going to help take your body longer to break it down. Number 5, you have a hard time losing weight. Because fiber helps with insulin spikes, it helps regulate your blood sugar, it helps you feel satisfied. If you're not getting enough fiber, that could potentially be a cause for you not being able to lose weight or gaining weight. Right? Now, of course, you have to keep in mind the only way to 100% know these symptoms is caused by a fiber deficiency is to visit your healthcare provider. But here's some natural things that you could do to increase your fiber intake. Remember, we're doing this slowly so that we don't get too much fiber in, but you can eat fruit like pears, strawberries, bananas, apples. Maybe even get creative and make like a strawberry banana smoothie, right? Put them in your smoothie, put them in your yogurt, put them in with your cereal, whatever. There's tons of ways that you can get those fruits in. Or you could try like a banana on a nut butter sandwich with a whole grain piece of bread. Number 2, eat avocados. If you watched the earlier video today, same day, October 24th, 2024, avocado is loaded with healthy fats, and there's about 10 grams of fiber in 1 cup of raw avocado, okay? You can eat broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Besides being full of fiber, both of these veggies are nutrient-dense foods, right? That you should make part of your daily diet anyways. Brussels sprouts are also known to have potent cancer-fighting antioxidants. So there's another plus to make you eat your Brussels sprouts and eat your veggies. Number 4, make a lentil soup. Lentils are loaded with protein and other nutrients, and 1 cup of cooked lentils has about 13.1 grams of fiber in it. Chickpeas, you can add them to salads, make hummus, and slather it on your veggies. You can toast them. 1 cup of cooked chickpeas contains 12.5 grams of fiber. You can eat oats. Oats are one of the healthiest grains on the planet, and they contain 16.5 grams of fiber in 1 cup of raw oats. So consider making like overnight oats, or you can just do like an easy grab and go oatmeal in the morning for those busy mornings. There's lots of easy ways. You don't have to make this complicated. And keep in mind, I talked about this in the last video as well. You don't have to do all of these, right? Find which one works for you. Popcorn. Who doesn't like popcorn? Air pop popcorn is very high in fiber. Just be careful that you're not picking popcorn that has tons of like added salt and fats and other things, right? So, number 1, let me know if you are having any of those symptoms, if you think you potentially have a fiber deficiency. And then number 2, which one are you going to try? Are you going to try the overnight oats? Are you going to put more berries? Do overnight oats and then stick some fruit and veggie berries in it in the morning. Let me know what you're going to do. And now we're going to talk about the vitamin D deficiency. So vitamin D, as I mentioned, is an extremely important vitamin that your body uses for several systems, but it also essentially helps your body absorb calcium. So you have to have vitamin D to be able to absorb calcium in your body. And a vitamin D deficiency is very common. Like I mentioned, it's estimated that about 1 billion people worldwide have low levels of vitamins in their blood. So how do you know if you need more vitamin D in your diet, and what can you do about it? So vitamin D is actually different than any other vitamins that your body needs. It functions like a hormone, and every single cell in your body has receptors for it. So most people don't realize that they're deficient because the symptoms are usually pretty subtle. So some common risk factors or symptoms for vitamin D deficiency: being overweight or obese, not eating much fish or dairy, limited sun exposure. We all know the sun gives us vitamin D by either living far away from the equator where there's little sun year round, or staying indoors all the time. Always using sunscreen when you go outside. Now, by no means am I saying that you shouldn't use sunscreen. Let's get that clear. And then eating a strict vegan diet, since most dietary vitamin D comes from things like fish oils, egg yolk, and milk. So if you're vegan, you want to make sure that you're getting in your vitamin D in other ways. So if you're not getting enough vitamin D, it can lead to serious health complications: cardiovascular disease, severe asthma in kids, high blood pressure, cognitive impairments in older adults. So now that you know the causes of vitamin D, what are the symptoms? Feeling tired, right? Of course, there can be several causes for fatigue, but vitamin D deficiency is often overlooked as the cause of feeling tired. Number 2, lower back or bone pain, right? According to Healthline, one study showed that people with vitamin D deficiency were nearly twice as likely to experience bone pain in their legs, ribs, or joints compared to those that had vitamin D levels in the normal range when they did blood tests. Third symptom of vitamin D deficiency: hair loss. Again, like all these symptoms, hair loss could be caused by many different things. It could be caused by stress, but there have been studies that have shown a link between low vitamin D and hair loss. Slow wound healing. Inadequate vitamin D levels may lead to poor wound healing following surgeries, injury, infections. So anytime that you have, we should always be eating healthy for the most part, but anytime you have an injury or infection or surgery, something that's going to put that extra stress on your body, it's even more important to make sure your body's getting all those vitamins and minerals that you need, because it's going to help you heal faster. And then another sign is depression. There have been a few studies done that showed increasing levels of vitamin D help to improve mood. Now, of course, if you're experiencing depression, you definitely want to talk to a healthcare professional, but that's one thing to keep in mind. And then, as always, of course, the only way to know for sure is to go to your healthcare provider, have labs done, and figure out exactly where you are. But here's some things that you can naturally increase your vitamin D at home. Eat wild salmon. 3.5 ounces of wild caught salmon has 125% of your recommended daily intake of vitamin D, and it's full of healthy fats. Now, don't go eat wild salmon every single day, because that you could eat too much of it, but that's something to think about. Eat mushrooms. Mushrooms have come up a lot, right? Again, video that was posted earlier today, October 24th, 2024, if you want to go back and watch it. We talked about mushrooms and all of the great effects of them. So they're actually the only good plant source of vitamin D. So unfortunately, natural sources of vitamin D are limited, especially if you're vegetarian or you don't like fish. But the good news is that some food products that don't naturally contain vitamin D are fortified with it. So milk, orange juice, cereal, oatmeal, things like that. So look and see how much vitamin D is in them. Eat egg yolk. Vitamin D levels in egg yolk do depend on the sun exposure of the chickens and the chicken feed. So make sure, you're getting the free range chickens, the ones that have actually seen sunlight, and the ones that have the chicken feed that is fortified with vitamin D, because they could have up to 7 times the recommended daily intake. Canned tuna. Of course, you have to watch that you're not eating too much tuna because of the mercury, but in appropriate amounts, tuna is a great source of niacin, vitamin K, vitamin D, right? Okay, so did you know? So now, we talked about this earlier. You have to have vitamin D in your body to be able to absorb calcium. So we have to talk about calcium today. Did you know that calcium You have more calcium in your body than any other mineral. I hope you did if you were paying attention earlier in this video because I mentioned it. You probably know that it's great for your bones and teeth, but are you getting enough of it in your diet? And more importantly, if you're not getting enough, what are we going to do about it? So calcium plays a crucial role in your heart health, your blood pressure, your nervous system, and even your body weight. Calcium deficiency can have serious consequences like brittle bones causing osteoporosis, memory loss, heart failure. So it's important that you make sure that you're getting enough. So here's a few signs of calcium deficiency and what you should look out for. So difficulty losing weight. This has come up several times, right? And I've already mentioned that it's not necessarily if you are having difficulty losing weight, it might not necessarily be a vitamin D deficiency or calcium deficiency or fiber deficiency, but it's something to think about because research has shown that calcium stored in fat cells help regulate the processing and storage of fat in the body, and fat cells that contain the most calcium burn more fat. Okay. If you have numbing, tingling, or muscle cramps, something to think about is, are you getting enough calcium? If you have weak or brittle nails or teeth, if you frequently break your bones, if you're getting poor sleep, calcium is involved in your body's production of melatonin, which is a sleep hormone. And studies have shown that calcium deficiency is related to the inability to achieve deep sleep and normal sleep cycles throughout the night. So if you are not getting great sleep, something to think about is it caused by a calcium deficiency? So if you have low calcium, what should you be adding to your diet so that you can get more calcium in? Number one, eat almonds every day. Out of all the nuts, almonds have the highest calcium content, right? Make sure that you're not eating too much, but a little handful every day is great. Add whey protein to your diet. 1 scoop of whey protein can have 20% of the recommended daily intake for calcium. Eat dark green leafy veggies like spinach and kale. Eat fortified food, just like we talked about. Some cereals have extra vitamin D, some have extra calcium. Some cereals actually have 100% of the recommended daily intake for calcium. Eat edamame or tofu. 1 cup of edamame has 10% of the daily recommended intake, and tofu has 85% of the recommended daily intake. Dried figs, they are rich in fiber, antioxidants, and calcium. And of course, if you can eat dairy, cheese, milk, yogurt, all of those are great to get your calcium into. So let me know in the comments, do you think that you're getting enough calcium, fiber, and vitamin D? If not, what are you going to do out of these lists that I gave you? What are you going to start today on October 24th, 2024 to start getting the right amounts that you need in your body? Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to Zenith Health, and we will see you next time.